morning. Nope. Hi Elements fam, it's Alyssa. I'm here to bring you a deep stretch class. Welcome to my home. This is my practice space. I'm lucky enough to have blocks and blankets and bolsters and all that fun stuff, but I'm going to work off the premise that you might not have some of that at home. So for today's practice, you're going to need a strap. If you don't have a strap, a belt, a rope, something like that, a tie, a scarf, any of that will do. And then instead of blocks, you can use some books. I am particularly using Harry Potter year 4 and 5 because I find that they're the right size. So yeah, well, let's get started. So find a comfortable, easy seat, whatever that looks like for you. For me, I'm going to sit with my sit bones pressing into the floor, the spine growing long from there, shoulders relax away from the ears, and then the arms are going to relax at your sides, on your thighs, or on your lap. So recognize here as you take a big breath in and a long breath out that your home practice is going to be very different. There's going to be interruptions, there's going to be noises. Very realistically, one of the cats will come down. So just take a couple of breaths. Begin to observe some of those distractions as they exist. See them for what they are, just distractions. And then one more time, take another big breath in. And open mouth, sigh. So starting with a basic seated twist, inhale both arms up overhead. And then as we exhale, allow the left hand to come down to the left knee. Right hand comes behind the hip. Pressing into those right fingertips, sit up nice and tall. And then as you exhale, can you twist any deeper, relaxing the shoulders as we go. So with every exhale, we think about finding the twist a little bit deeper, but letting the hands be light. With every inhale, lengthen the spine. Take one more big breath in. Exhale, twist a little bit deeper. And then as we inhale, sweep both arms up overhead, moving right into the other side. Right hand comes to left knee, left hand comes behind the hip. Sit up nice and tall. Exhale, relax the shoulders as we deepen the twist. Long breaths here. Now would be a really good time to make an observation about any tension you're carrying in the face. So relax the jaw, relax the eyes. Inhale for length, exhale for depth. And then inhale, sweep both arms up overhead. Allow the right hand to come down next to the right hip. Left arm reaches up and over. Big side bend. As you take your next inhale, can we line the shoulders, stack the shoulders on top of each other, and perhaps look up underneath the armpit towards the ceiling. As you take your next exhale, can you allow the left sit bone to sink a little further into the ground? And then inhaling, both arms up overhead, moving to the opposite side. Left hand floats down to the floor, right arm reaches up and over, big side stretch. And then as we inhale, stack the shoulders and then look up towards the ceiling. Now if that doesn't feel right in your neck, as always, don't do it, right? Finding the space that feels right for you. As we exhale, that right sit bone really hugs into the ground. One more breath in, one more lengthening breath out. And then inhale, reaching both arms up overhead, relax the palms together and into heart space. And then switch the cross of the legs. So whatever leg is in front, that comes behind. Sit up nice and tall once again. Adjust your seat if you need to. And then inhaling both arms up overhead, we're gonna exhale, twist to the left. So right hand comes to left knee, left hand comes behind the hip, nice and tall. Inhale, exhale for depth. Keep the breath fluid. So this might feel different from one hip to the next because we're sitting differently. As we take our next inhale, sweeping both arms up overhead. Exhale, twisting to the right. So let your abdominals do the work here. Let the abdominals cause the twist rather than holding onto the knee and yanking yourself around. Let the spine be tall. Let the breath encourage the twist. And again, relax the jaw, relax the eyes. And then inhale, lifting yourself back up to center. Allowing the left hand to float down to next to the left hip. Right arm reaches up and over. Find that gentle side bend. Maybe you can go a little deeper this time because we've been here before. Finding a little extra length in that top arm, but letting the shoulders stay plugged into the socket. And as we inhale, lifting the chin, maybe. Right? Stepping into the spaces that feel comfortably uncomfortable for you. And then inhale, lifting yourself up. Right hand floats down, left arm reaches up and over. Big stretch in the side waist. Plug that shoulder in, line the shoulders up with each other, and maybe look up. Steady breath. And perhaps from here, letting the corners of our mouth just rise into a smile. And then taking your next inhale, letting yourself float all the way up. Palms of the hands together, lower the thumbs down to our heart space. Roll the shoulders a few times as we relax the arms away. Nice. Nice and tall here. And then gently drop the left ear towards the left shoulder. Keep the back of the head back. Again, spine nice and long. And as long as the discs and the vertebrae of the neck are still feeling kind of healthy, you can stay here or perhaps drop the nose towards the shoulder or the armpit. And feel the stretch in the back of the neck expand or deepen, depending on how much tension we're carrying in that space. And then from here, keeping the spine long, the chest lifted, chin falls in towards the chest. Pause here just for a handful of breaths. So as we sit in this Sukhasana, this easy seat, it is a tendency as we sit to just get lazy in the spine. So find some length in the spine, nice and tall. And then the chin falls gently. As you take that inhale, lift the chin back to neutral. And then dropping right ear down towards right shoulder. Breath steady and even. Face relaxed. And then again, to deepen or change that stretch, dropping the chin or the nose towards the armpit. Find simplicity here. And then one more time, dropping the chin down towards the chest. And again, keeping that there, but the collarbone stays lifted, the spine stays long, the abdominals stay supportive of the rib cage and the posture. The head, gentle heaviness here. At every point throughout this process, we continue to find comfortably uncomfortable. A gentle space. That gentle work, that gentle effort. Slowly lift the chin back to neutral once again. Roll the shoulders a few times. Yeah. And then from here, extend the legs straight out in front of you. So you want to be hip distance apart in the heels, 1 to 2 fist distance, and this is where that strap's really going to come in handy. So finding that halfway point on the strap, loop it around the ball of the foot. So we want to avoid the arch or the toes. And then holding onto the strap, relax the shoulders as we sit up nice and tall. Inhale nice and long, and then exhale, hinge yourself forward. As you do that, keep the collarbone lifted, keep the spine nice and long, and it's almost like the crown of the head is reaching for that space where the wall and the ceiling come together. From here, let the grip on the strap be gentle, the shoulders relax and down. Full breath in, exhale, hinge. We're gonna round, I promise, but just hold yourself here for a few breaths. So letting that posture stay tall. Not uncommon to feel the lower back speaking with you. Right? Getting some feedback not only from the hamstrings, but also the quadriceps, as they have to tighten to let the hamstring release. Lengthen again through the spine. take a big breath in, and then as you exhale, let the spine round. So envision that you've got like this beach ball here that you're just rounding over. Letting the arms come forward, backs of the hands relax into the floor, forehead comes down towards the thighs, the knees, the shins, but enough of a way that the spine stays long. We're rounding ourselves forward. And letting the breath hold you here. Letting some gentle, easy breath. So as we're forward folded, the diaphragm, the abdominals are crunched up in that fold. So can you feel the inhale and the exhale come from the back of the rib cage, from the lower back, expanding out and pulling back in. So letting that gentle breath continue. And then once again, relax the forehead, relax that space, that angry space between the eyebrows, relax the eyelids, maybe even the eyes themselves. Full breath in. Exhale forward, can you release the head a little bit more? So feel the entire back of the body opening up. Find some simplicity, find some ease, right? Don't make this complicated. It's just our yoga practice. As you take the next exhale, pull the belly button towards the spine as you roll yourself up to sit. And then tuck the chin straight back. Roll the shoulders a few times. Beautiful. All right, so from here, get the strap out of the way, moving into Baddha Konasana, bound angle. So we're bringing the soles of the feet together. Hands can come to the feet themselves, to the ankles, wherever's gonna help us sit nice and straight and tall. And then from there, allow the knees to melt down towards the ground. So my hips are really kind of cranky and tight because I've been doing a lot of sitting and working and then hitting the treadmill. So watch what's happening here, right? What's happening is the knees kind of hug up. If we need to, this is a great space to grab Harry Potter. So letting the books or blocks, if you have them, hook underneath the hips as we sit nice and tall. Full breath in. Long, steady breath out. Yeah. Take a breath in, and as you exhale, hinge forward, let the elbows come out, perhaps in front of the shins, perhaps into the inner thighs, and drop the crown of the head forward once again. So as we do this, the inner thighs lengthen even more. The lower back should feel a nice, gentle stretch. Remember that none of this should be painful, right? Discomfort, yes, right? But none of it should be sharp, stabbing, hot, painful. We want to avoid that. Take one more big breath in. One more exhale. Can you hinge any further forward as the air escapes through the diaphragm, hugging the abdominals in a little bit tighter. And then slowly inhale, lifting yourself up to sit, nice and tall. Holding onto the outsides of the thighs, bringing the inner thighs together. Blocks out of the way, books out of the way. Extend that left leg straight out in front of you. Allow the sole of the right foot to the inside of the inner thigh. Sit tall, and then from that hip, hinge forward, walking the hands, alternating down the leg, and hugging on either side of the leg as we go. Inhale for length, get that neck nice and long, and then exhale, bring yourself forward. Yeah. So the right lower back should be speaking a little bit louder than the left here. Hamstring, quadricep still continues to go, hips still feeling good. Finding that length. Reach the crown of the head forward. Exhale, fold it down. And then inhale, walk yourself back up to sit. Holding onto the outside of that right leg, bring the sole of the foot to the floor. Grasp onto the shin. Inhale, bring yourself tall, finding a gentle Marichyasana twist. So depending on your depth of twist, you can move the foot to the outside of the thigh or not. I'm going to cue from here, so letting the sole of the foot press into the floor. Hold onto the shin, lift the spine, let the belly press into the thigh. And then taking that left hand, wrapping it around the shin as best as we can. Taking the right hand, spider tip fingers tented behind the hip, lengthen through the spine. Inhale, exhale, twist. So just like with our seated twist, We're using the abdominals to hug that twist, not the forearm, not the elbow. Find that length. So twists are a beautiful way to detox the body, especially in a pose like this where you're massaging the lower organs in that thigh. Probably not something that we necessarily always want to think about, but again, letting that twist really be benefited, really be enhanced by that gentle hug in. Slowly bring yourself back to center line. We're going to cradle this right leg like a baby. So holding on the outside of the shin or thigh, grasping onto the foot, rock side to side, draw some circles, right? It's going to look a little bit different for everyone. An option, if you can go a little bit deeper, is to bring the outside edge of the foot into the hook of that left elbow, nice and tall. Yeah. And then gently releasing that leg, extending all the way out and then switching to the other side. So pulling that left leg in, sole of the foot comes down to the floor, nice and tall in the spine. Mm-hmm. And then from this hip crease, we're going to hinge forward, alternating hand over hand to the outside of the leg. Inhale, finding length. Exhale, rounding forward. So I don't know about you, but my left lower back is speaking rather loudly at the moment. So just like before, can we breathe into the lower back? Can we feel the lower ribs? Inhale and exhale. Encouraging that breath. And so earlier we relaxed the forehead and the eyes. So here, relax the jaw, relax the lips. Maybe even peel the tongue off of the roof of the mouth. Inhale, walk yourself back, nice and tall. Hugging onto that outside of the leg, curl that leg up, sole of the foot presses into the floor, holding onto the shin, sit up nice and straight and tall. So we're going to hug that right forearm around and allow the fingertips of the left hand to press into the ground behind us, sit up nice and tall. Exhale as we twist open. And as we do that, allow that left shoulder really to melt away. Allow that shoulder to melt down and back. Inhaling, lifting the collarbone. Inhaling, lifting the spine. Exhale, finding that twist. Even, steady breath. Full breath in. Long breath out. And then bringing yourself back to center line. We're going to rock the baby on this side, so cradling that leg, finding that gentle movement. Now remember, you got lots of options, right? If you want that depth, bringing that knife edge of the foot into the elbow and rocking here. Beautiful. All right, extend that leg all the way out. We're going to flip over onto our hands and knees. So hands directly underneath shoulders, knees directly underneath the hips. Moving through a few rounds of cat-cow. Inhale, tip the pelvis forward, lift the crown of the head. Exhale, tuck the pelvis under, round the spine, drop the crown of the head. Inhaling to lift. Exhaling to round. Let's go for one more round here. Lift. And round. And then bring the big toes together, the knees wide. Bring the book's one handprint apart. One hand on each book or block. Sink the hips back towards the heels and allow the heart to melt through the shoulders. Crown of the head rests towards the floor. So as we relax into this child's pose, let the shoulders relax down the back. Let the forehead melt towards the floor. Let your body find some gentle ease. Full breaths in. Even longer exhale. Walking the hands off the blocks, rolling yourself up. Back to that tabletop position. We're going to either swing the legs around or roll over, cross ankles, and come down onto your back. So As we lower ourselves down to the floor, first and foremost, bring the knees in towards the chest, Apanasana. As we do that, allow most of the pelvis to rest into the floor. And then draw some circles gently with your knees. And then draw circles the other way. So we're going to stretch into the front parts of the thighs. So bring the soles of the feet to the floor. Press the feet down. Lift the hips off the floor. Slide that book or block underneath the hips. And then allow the hips to rest into that book. It's not the glutes. It's not the lower back. It's the back of the pelvis. So from there, allow the left knee to come in towards the chest, holding behind the thigh or at the shin. And slowly allow the right leg to extend all the way out. Take a couple of easy breaths here. So what we should be feeling here is the front of the hip flexor gently starting to open. So a couple options here. If this feels right for you, stay here. If you'd like to move towards a half happy baby, begin to bring the thigh outside of the rib cage, holding behind the thigh. Straighten the leg halfway to a 90-degree bend. Perhaps we stay there or reach up for that opposite foot. Strap could be really handy here. Press that back of the leg towards the floor. Taking 1 or 2 more breaths. And then releasing that bent leg, sliding the extended leg in, sole of the foot comes to the floor, moving the opposite way. So bring the thigh in towards the chest, extend the opposite leg, press the back of the leg into the floor. Recognize the gigantic difference between your left-hand side and your right-hand side. And again, letting that hip flexor relax, letting the front of the pelvis relax, staying there or begin to find that half happy baby. And again, the strap can be a beautiful addition here if we need it. Taking a couple gentle breaths. And then gently releasing that leg, sliding, bringing both soles of the feet to the floor. And as you feel ready, press the soles of the feet into the floor, lift the hips, move the block or the book out of the way, and then 1 vertebrae at a time, lower yourself all the way down to the floor. From there, walk the feet as wide as the mat, tick-tock the knees from side to side. And then as you feel ready, relax the arms, the backs of the arms into the floor, extending the legs out and finding your Shavasana, resting fully into your corpse pose. Take a full breath in and a long, steady breath out. Give yourself permission to rest fully, as long as you need. Namaste.